All right. So it is 2020. We're in the middle of COVID, and it is a beautiful, beautiful day. And I'm having a socially distanced breakfast brunch situation with my boy Thomas. So we're outside on the patio of the gallery. We have some French toast. We got man mimosas. The bacon was on fire. A great meal, ready for some great conversation. And I dive into sharing things about the business, some new ideas that I have that I want to ultimately one day produce this new body of work, right? So sharing a few ideas, and Thomas is like nodding his head, like mad interested, and then he he stops me like mid sentence, and he's like, "So what are you gonna do with this? Are you gonna do it?" And me in my nonchalant way, I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it." And he's like, "No, for real. Like, are you going to do it?" Matter of fact, let's launch this thing. Let's just go ahead and launch it.
And I'm
Uh,
gonna interrupt right now because
yeah,
I'm the Thomas that he's talking about, and the reason why I pressed is like, bro, you may not have known. You have been telling me about this body work for like 2 to 3 years, bro. 2 to 3, and I'm like, man, I can't hear about this for one more Saturday brunch if this man is not putting this stuff out into the world because I could hear you light up every time you talked about it. That's
right.
why I pressed you. All right, I'm gonna let you get to your story now. Go ahead.
All right. So he's pressing me. He's pressing me about actually launching this thing and getting it done. He asked me about my email list and my customers and clients, and asked about you guys. So I'm like, yeah, sure, we can go ahead and do it. And he puts his brain on it. We put together a 5 day email campaign, or 7 day email campaign, 5 emails. Um, and basically reach out to you guys to see if you'd be interested in supporting this new body of work. Um, to pre-purchase, sight unseen, and although it sounded good at the time, as soon as brunch was over, I'm like, man, what did I just sign up for? So I knew I had some ideas. I know I'm a new dad. Everything that was happening in the world at the time during COVID, all the social unrest we saw, uh, new husband, father, son, a black man in America, an artist, um, tons of things that I wanted to say, but at the time I just felt muted. I didn't know how to communicate like artistically what I wanted to say and how I wanted to express myself, nor did I know exactly what that would look like. The ideas that I had were kind of a departure from what everybody's known me for, but it was a combination of all the things that I was interested in. So like photography, typography, graphic design, like a number of things that I wanted to include into a new body of work. But would it sell? I didn't know. Uh, would people enjoy the work? Would it resonate with the folks that were collecting it? I don't know. So ultra nervous about what this body of work would end up being, um, actually end up being. The most uncomfortable I had been up to that point in a very, very long time. Because honestly, I was on the road playing the hits. I created a body of work that was doing crazy well, winning me awards year after year after year. And I'm rotating that work, that body of work. And I was doing fine. I was doing fine, but the artist in me wasn't producing new work. I was out of my practice. I wasn't practicing. I was driving trucks and setting up tents and being a salesman and things like that, you know? So there was a deep desire for me to return back to being an artist and genuinely expressing like my new thoughts and my new feelings and my new experiences. Because life literally around this particular time turned on its head, personally, worldwide, as well. And it's time for me to share, this new recent updated version of Cliff, and that's where this new body of work kind of arrives.
All right, now I want to say something about this. I want to say
Yeah.
something. This is a y'all. This is a really eloquent and beautiful rendition of the of the story. But man, this brother was shaking in his boots when we started this launch because he's like, wait, man, how we gonna sell the work before I have the work? And I'm like, yeah, chicken versus egg, right? But if you don't have the sales, when are you ever gonna get out the gate and actually produce the work? Because you're comfortable, but you're also scared. And it's been a long time. We gotta jolt you into something new. So not only did we do the campaign and generate, I think it was something like 55,000 in sales in 7 days
Yeah.
of this new body of work before Cliff had ever picked up the camera. Now he's got to face the fact that, okay, well, the question is answered. People do want the work. So I can put that question to bed. What is the work going to be? And I actually was the first customer before the campaign started so that there was going to be no excuse to not do it. Because if you got somebody who bought, you can't back out.
True.
And so
I think you made we made the first sale that day.
we did. We did. I wouldn't let this brother have no space to back out. And so what y'all see is the results of a pressure cooker that this man built around himself to force himself out of the gate and back into creativity. It wasn't pretty. And the next year, producing the work wasn't pretty. It was supposed to be check-ins, and the brother didn't want to let us behind the red. All of this stuff, right? He has left out some of the story. And I'm gonna let you have it, Cliff. But y'all, it was a struggle getting to this point. But that's what it is. That's when you're going through the creative process. So, Cliff, I want you to tell a little bit about, like, you were going to be doing these check-ins weekly to let people in your craft and behind the red curtain and how you were thinking. And that was a real challenge for you to let people into your process. Tell us about that a little bit.
Well, I didn't. So I made the promise, and I didn't adhere to that promise at all whatsoever, remotely. I think part of it was like me not really understanding my practice or diving back into what my practice should be and what I thought was interesting. And there were some weeks that went by where I didn't think about it, you know. It might have been more of an absorption of what was going on in the world and how I was feeling. But I'm like, that's not interesting. Like, nobody wants to hear that. And for me to share weekly, that was a struggle. But those weeks turned into months, and those months turned into 3 months and 6 months, like in between, like communication with everybody who kind of supported me. And there was an embarrassment, honestly, that was attached to that. Because it's like, damn, I didn't follow through again this week. And damn, I didn't follow through again. And damn, I didn't follow through again. And I don't even have anything to show. Maybe I should make up something just to throw it at them and buy some more time. And I found myself in I was about to cuss, in a panic, a panic for real. And I didn't know how to complete this project and to make good on the promises. I started feeling like a fraud. I started feeling like an imposter, to be honest, and not being the artist that I said I was going to be. In the end, I knew the work would be dope, right? I'm confident in the work being dope. I just didn't know what it was going to be. And it also had to resonate. And nothing was resonating at the moment, or it wasn't coming to fruition as quickly as I anticipated. I thought this thing was going to be done in 6 months max, and I'd have been done, and I can like, cool, I can do this again. I haven't done it again yet, but it was that daunting of a process for me, and it was rough. That's the best I can say. Is it was rough, and yeah, as I reflect on it, my body even gives like little physical reactions to it right now, like physical, like nervousness and anxiousness, even just with the thought of the process and the sharing during in real time as I was going through it. Super difficult. Super difficult.
So now it took you a year and change to produce it, but it's a fantastic body of work. We're on the other side of it. It's now an award-winning body of work that you've taken and you've toured around the country with it. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're going to cover in this particular campaign over the next 10 days? You take us behind the scenes of this body of work.
So so over the next 10 days, we're going to include this as day one. So today is going to be the overview, just talking about the body of work. Day two is going to be the inspiration behind one specific piece. So it'll be the title piece, The Way We Carry. The concept behind that piece will happen on day three. Day four is how this piece fits into the overall series, The Weight We Carry. Day five we'll dive into like the technical aspects, like how I actually shot the photograph and made the piece actually come to fruition. Day six, we're going to be like who I used for the photo shoot. Sometimes that's important, and then I'll pull out some of the details of why I use these details for the shoot. Day seven, what was I thinking about going into the shoot? This will be like the day of, me describing what was going on, what music was playing, and how close did I get to what I was envisioning for the shot. Day eight, why this shot, why this one made the cut. I did shoot more than I needed for the series, but why did this one actually make the cut? Day nine, how the title came about. I'm a big fan of titles. I feel like untitled work, it's a shame to see untitled work. I think it gives it a little bit more meaning at the end of the thing, at the end of the piece, at the end of the day. And day 10 will be post-production, like Photoshop things, editing I did, typography choices, texture choices. I'll dive into a few more details that we hadn't discussed prior to that.
Well,
and that's what the campaign is going to be.
Well, I think my job here is done. I was intent on making sure everybody knew all the gritty, grimy, dirty details about like the real work that went into creating The Weight We Carry, the behind the scenes, because man, you have some of the most amazing stories. And somebody's just got to make you tell these stories, man. If you're not gonna do it, then I'm gonna just be on these calls. You're not gonna see my face. You're just gonna hear a voice in the background pressing you.
Right. Here's the pressure cooker. Here's the pressure cooker, right? Nah, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to the series, man.
All right.